Good morning everybody and welcome to this game between Team Secret and TNC Pro Team for the Starladder I-League Star Series Season 3. This game is live. A lot of you wanted me to do a live game and here I am. I found one that is live when I have time to cast. So I thought, why not? Let's just do it. Let's just see how this plays out. As per bands, we have a Lone Druid, IO, Bounty Hunter and Invoker, as well as Earth Spirit, Slaughter, Sniper and Juggernaut. Sniper is a little bit unusual, although I'm not really super surprised by that. Sniper is really a hero that I personally have seen a lot of potential in recently with the introduction of the talents. His talents are really good. They are very powerful. They can actually make a shrapnel just insane. And shrapnel is a strong ability, absolutely. But anyway, other than that, nothing really too crazy. I guess the Bounty Hunter could be considered a little bit unusual. But yet again, another hero that I personally find to be very powerful. You know, he can roam around a lot. He can pick up the bounty runes everywhere. You know, he's an actual Bounty Hunter now. But you collect the bounty runes and you can actually keep up. Previously, a roaming Bounty Hunter would struggle catching up with levels and gold. He would be pretty far behind. He would have an impact in the early game and then just fall off. But I don't really think that's the case anymore. Not only that, but he also has the Aghanim's effect, which is very powerful. And so on. We got Vengeful Spirit, Ogre Magi, and OD for TNC. So this team already tells me that they are looking for a very core-centered lineup. You know, they want to say, okay, we got the OD. Right, we're probably going to get another core and then more of a supporting offlane, and we're just going to make sure that those two cores can do the maximum possible, right? We've got the Vengeful Spirit here that really supports well in terms of you be enabled, right? She enables our heroes. You've got Ogre Magi, the exact same thing. You buff up the OD, he deals a ton of damage, you slow people down, you stun them. All of that is just there to enable the carries. They don't really do a lot of killing themselves, but they set up the heroes to kill for their teammates. So I would expect, maybe a Slark here. Slark is still in the pool, although a little bit tricky against the Keeper of the Light, right? But we'll see what exactly it ends up being. Of course, I have no idea because this game is live. But yeah, anyway, we've got Keeper of the Light, Legion Commander, and Tusk coming out for Team Secret. Legion Commander, a hero that will usually be played in the offlane, although I wouldn't be too baffled if we see her as a safe lane carry. I actually think that is a perfectly fine strategy. If you can play a Legion Commander safe lane carry and you be really aggressive early on, you get the level 10 talent that gives you 15% additional experience, you can actually snowball really heavily. This hero benefits quite a bit from levels. Not only that, but of course, if you manage to get to level 25 at any point, the game is basically guaranteed to be over within the next 10 minutes, since she just snowballs so hard from there. But most likely this is going to be an offlane Legion Commander. We've got the Tusk supporting, we've got the Keeper of the Light supporting. I actually really like the Tusk with the Legion Commander. You know, Tusk snowballs in, carries in the Legion Commander. Then we go for the duel, so you can actually go for some effective ganks even without a Blink Dagger, which is really nice. That allows her to rush stuff like Blade Mail or Armlet over, you know, that mobility. And well, we're gonna go into the second pick here. Oh, it's actually gonna be the Slark. Will you look at that? Yeah, it is the Slark for TNC Pro Team. Again, I see a little bit of the problem with the Keeper of the Light. That is always a little bit tricky, although it is not crazy, right? It is not a situation where it's just completely impossible to deal with. Oh no, by no means. It's just a little bit irritating, you know? If he ever catches you with the mana leak, you actually can't really do anything. Slark is a hero that relies on his mana. And of course, the Blinding Light is a bit of an issue, but I mean, BKB would help with both of those things. And I'm pretty sure you can purge off the Mana Leak and the Blinding Light, so if you can just time your Dark Pack properly, you'll be fine. Other than that, against Tusk, against Legion Commander, I can see him absolutely working. Tinker coming out for Team Secret. Tinker being a hero that is insanely powerful, just a god. Absolute god. One of the best heroes in the game right now. His impact on a game is absolutely massive and terrifying. Thoroughly terrifying. Absolutely. Good against Slark, good against OD. Struggles a little bit against the Vengeful and the Ogre Magi though. He doesn't like being stunned that much. And I know that sounds really obvious, but Ogre Magi and Vengeful are very reliable stunning heroes. You know, they just run in, click on you and you're stunned. That's something Tinker doesn't like. You know, Tinker likes being away from people, likes being in the safety, you know, all the way in the jungle somewhere if possible. But yeah, we'll see. I expect this to be an Aghanims Tinker, so we're probably gonna see the Etherlands Aghanims build. Hopefully he'll also pick up an early Ghost Scepter. That is going to be very useful against the Slark and OD. And since that is really the only source of damage output TNC currently has, I think that might be really powerful. Anyway, Luna being banned out from TNC, and now Team Secret needs to think about which offlaner they think that TNC will go for. It's going to be the Batrider that they ban out, and as you can see, Team Secret shares my thoughts here. Team Secret is like, they're gonna go for a supporting offlaner, right? They don't want, you know, somebody who can do damage in offline. I know nobody plays Nature's Prophet right now, but Nature's Prophet just fits the example. The Nature's Prophet is an offlaner that isn't really supporting. Instead, he wants to be like a carry himself, right? He is a core himself. While a Batrider isn't necessarily. A Batrider is more of a supporter, somebody that, yes, he gets farm and all of that, but he's mostly there just to enable other heroes. Lifestealer coming out from Team Secret, not too surprised by that. Makes sense with the Tusk, with the Legion Commander, with the Tinker even. Although the Tinker isn't the greatest vehicle for the Lifestealer, since the Tinker doesn't want to blink into the middle of a fight, right? But Tusk and Legion Commander, absolutely fine vehicles for a Lifestealer. So that's gonna be nice. Also, very powerful early again. Lifestealer, a hero that wants to get close to people, that's when he is at his strongest. And Nyx Assassin coming out. That's exactly what I mean, you know. Nyx Assassin is a supporting offlaner. He runs around, he scouts people out, he burns mana on the Tinker, you know, he's gonna stun him a little bit. But the Nyx is not going to be a scary, powerful right-clicker himself or anything like that, you know. Nyx doesn't go for a ton of money, Nyx doesn't use a lot of resources. He's happy if he gets an Etherlands or Blink Dagger, maybe an Aghanims, and that's probably gonna be the end of it, right? But a Lifestealer is gonna be really nice with the Tusk, right? You snowball in, you get all of your stuff off, super easy, quick kills like that. Gonna be powerful. Honestly, the Snowball is an ability that I think will be very valuable here. Although, admittedly, OD is a hero that can actually deal with it pretty nicely, since you just, you know, trap people, buy yourself a lot of time that way. We got 8,000 spectators, none of which are listening to me cast. Let's go. One day. I believe! One day. Hey, you know, you gotta believe in your dreams, right? So, alright, we got Puppy on the Tusk. He's gonna be going into the mid here, and by mid, I mean, of course, not into the mid. He's just roaming around to put down the ward right now. We've got Tim's on the Ogre Manager. I'm not sure if he scouted this out. They are pinging it. That was a pink ping. So Cuckoo knows that something is going on. Is Tim's gonna put down a sentry? Yes, they do, and they find the Observer Ward. It's gonna be a nice free 100 gold for the OD here. I'm sure he's fairly happy about this. That's a good start. His net worth is already ahead of everybody else. Where's his GPM? GPM is gonna be very funny if I can't find the statistic. There we go. Just pay attention to it once the game actually starts, since the OD already has 100 gold. Alright, but anyway, we've got mid one on the Tinker, gonna be going into the mid. What a surprise. We've got Pylai Dai on the keep-off. The Light Keisu on the Legion Commander. I'm very happy to see Keisu actually in a competitive game, like in a competitive team like this. I know I'm a little bit late on that, but Keisu is just, you know, somebody I have a little bit of personal history with, and it's just nice to see him do well, right? But we've got MP on the Lifestealer and Puppy. We already talked about it, but did you see the OD's GPM there? It's still a little bit silly, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, this is of course not a very valuable statistic, but I just find it amusing. We've got a Sam Age on the Nyx Assassin. Gonna be offlaning, and actually the Ogre Manager is currently down here as well. This is actually gonna be the most annoying lane in the world to go up against. These two heroes are both incredibly tanky. It's very difficult to deal any sort of damage to them. So that's something that Secret may struggle with a little bit. Up at the top, we got Ryor on the Vengeful Spirit, Raven playing the Slug, and that's about the end of it. It seems to be lagging a little bit. I'm not really sure why that is, and we have First Blood down at the bottom. Sorry about that, I got distracted by the lag. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. I really hope that stops. My connection is fine. Yeah, alright. Sorry about missing the First Blood there. Honestly, the lag just threw me off. But Alright, it's not really like super crazy. We all know what happened, right? It was a double stun. They just kind of beat up Puppy a little bit. It's not too important anyway. And actually, look at that. The Ogre Magic just coming in. The Orb of Venom is really something that I personally like seeing a lot on Ogre. Oh, actually, Tim's is taking a lot of damage. He does have a Fairy Fire, though. So he's going to be able to, like, you know, heal up a little bit and trade one more hit. Now, actually, he gets the kill. And now they're going to go for the Nyx. No, not Nyx. Nyx. The Lifestealer. They're not going to be able to do it, but this is exactly the problem with an Ogre Magi. This hero is just so disgustingly tanky. You could see Tim's just take a beating, you know, he just stood there. Any other hero would have died in that situation. Any other hero. But, it doesn't matter. Also, can I somehow disable this chat? I really hope I really hope that's somehow possible. Oh, well. Alright, anyway. We didn't mention Cuckoo. I don't think we did. We got Cuckoo on the OD going into the mid here. But yeah. Alright. So the Lifestealer gonna be going up against this double tanky lane, and that's a real issue for him. You know, like, the problem is not just that they have a lot of HP, because frankly, while they do have a reasonable amount of HP, it's not really like the craziest part of these heroes. The craziest part of these heroes is actually like their native HP regeneration and armor. Like, that's what makes it so difficult to deal damage to them, you know. Both Nyx and Ogre Magi have a higher than regular health regeneration. You can see he's sitting at 4.3 right now. And Ogre Magi, of course, has 8 starting armor. Nyx, a little bit less than that, but it's still very powerful. So both of them, a little bit tricky to go up against. You know, you just struggle dealing damage to them. And actually, Lifestealer taking a lot of damage himself here. They won't be able to secure the skill. MP is a little bit too tanky for that. Picking up a poor man's shield himself. In the mid lane, we got Vengeful looking for a gank. They got a trap, so it buys them a bit of time. Ryo coming in. He finds the missile, but the laser comes out in time, and Cuckoo will not be able to actually provide any additional DPS. And so the Tinker will survive. The laser, of course, being insane. It's just an insane ability. You can see Mid-One is actually skipping his other abilities, just keeping the skill points, because he isn't sure what he's going to need yet. Right? While the heat-seeking missile is powerful for getting kills, it is also something that you only need once you actually are gonna start getting kills. Right, so if he ever sees a situation where he needs the missile to secure a hero kill, he will skill it and then use it, right? But until then, he doesn't actually have a reason to skill it. He doesn't actually have a reason to have the ability, because he's not going to use it for harassment in lane, right? That's just not going to happen. And March of the Machines is very powerful for farming. So you always got to ask yourself, as this Tinker, well, do I want to be more active, or do I want to be more farming orientated? And if you aren't sure, then you just save your skill points and decide later. And this is exactly what's happening here. I think he's using the courier to scout this out. Well, it doesn't seem like he actually gets it. Mid-One is going to be ganked yet again. They get one stun, the follow-up, and that should be a dead Tinker. It doesn't really matter that he manages to get the laser on Cuckoo. The OD secures the kill with one last attack, dropping very low himself, but still managing to survive. I wonder if the March was lined up differently. Maybe that would have been enough to actually chase him away. But Keisu is now on the run up here. He is kind of in a difficult situation, dropping very low. But at the same time, a Legion Commander is tanky, a Legion Commander is fast, and a Legion Commander is safe. At the bottom, we've got the Lifestealer now finally given a little bit of freedom. Yeah, he finally has an opportunity to simply say, alright, I'm gonna go out and get myself some last hits, working on the face boots here, you know, just happy to actually be left alone for a little while, and he is using that time as efficiently as he can. Top lane we haven't talked about much yet. The Legion Commander is actually doing incredibly well, completely dominating the Slug. And again, this is kind of like the problem that the Slug is going to run into here. Yes, later on, of course, it's going to be much easier on him. He has many more tools to deal with this Kotl, but you can see that right now it's just tricky. Right now it's just tricky. And it's not just the Kotl, of course, it's the Kotl with the Legion Commander. Those two heroes, they provide so much pressure Right, they are so aggressive in this lane, and the Slug simply doesn't have the backup needed to deal with this. Ogre Magi is chilling at the bottom lane, the Vengeful Spirit is ganking the mid. The Slug is really kind of been pushed back into more of a position 3 in this early game, which I know that looks a little bit silly, but honestly I personally don't mind it too much. The Slug is a hero that can farm very, very quickly with just levels, right? You just need level 7 and a bit of time. If you go a Slug level 7 in a bit of time, then he's gonna come out of the jungle farmed. It's that straightforward. He's got enough regen, right? His abilities cost no mana. He can burst through the jungle with no items. He really doesn't need anything. And then he can catch up very, very easily. Now, important thing is that he doesn't die while doing so. But yeah, and actually the Lifesteal could have gotten a kill, funnily enough, but he got scared by a potential gank. Up at the top lane, talking about potential ganks, we got Keisu in a bit of an awkward situation. He gets stunned up, but Sam won't be able to secure that kill. The Legion Commander, too tanky. She got treads, she got everything. She got the Kotl around to, you know, back her up, and Keisu will end up being just fine. The top tower going down already, denied. So, a small victory for TNC here, and it's actually kind of a little bit funny, you know. TNC is doing really well in, you know, or was doing really well in the bottom and in the mid lane. The bottom lane not so much anymore, since they have just left MP to farm up. But the top lane is such a disaster that now the entire game has shifted into dealing with this top lane situation. And they are just struggling with that, and it's kind of understandable. I mean, how are you gonna go up against this Legion Commander? Now she got dual. So at this point, if you screw up against her, not only will you die guaranteed, but also, no, it's just gonna get harder and harder and harder since she snowballs so heavily. Mid lane, mid one, he decided to go with the March of the Machines after all. Not going for the missiles, and that's exactly why he was saving those points, you know. It's just feeling out how the game went. Now that he knows that Keisu has bought him so much time, well, I don't need to have the missiles. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead, get the March, and farm up, and get big that way. Alright, I don't need to gank, don't need to fight. We have plenty of room here. Sadly, Keisu ends up going down, which this is actually a very funny game. Look at the score, it's 0-4, right? But Secret actually is ahead, alright? So that really just shows you that kills, they aren't everything. They aren't everything, alright? And in the meantime, down at the bottom, Raven's just getting beaten up by MP, and yeah, the Lifestealer simply deals more damage than the Slug right now, alright? That's just how it goes. Now, funnily enough, later on, I generally think there's actually nothing a Lifestealer can do against the Slug, right? Late game, and I'm talking about late game, right? I don't mean somewhat early game. I mean at 40 minutes into the game, right? But at 40 minutes into the game, a Slug just destroys Lifestealer, and it's just ridiculous, right? You get yourself the Skadi, you get yourself the Bash, and there's nothing a Lifestealer can do. Meantime, they catch the Ogre Magi. Nothing too important. This is essentially just a big creep. Really doesn't matter in the long run, you know. But it is, you know, a nice thing to get that additional point on the board. Even though we know that Secret is actually doing incredibly well here, Secret, you know, may not be as aware of it, because there's always the psychological fact of just seeing that number up there, right? You know you're doing alright, but then you see, oh shit, we're actually behind in kills. That just doesn't feel nice. They got the double stun follow-up here on Legion Commander, calling in MP. Lifesteal is looking for something, won't be able to get it, but at least he chases TNC away. So, Secret is just gonna settle for surviving, and I mean, that seems like a fine thing to settle for, doesn't it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so actually going for more points in a moment of courage. I always find it interesting to see what Legion Commanders go for there. And oh, we got a rotation into the top here. TNC, they're invisible, they got the smoke here. Actually, not just the smoke, got an invisibility room. And, of course, the Nukes ultimate. Oh no, they missed that stun, and that's gonna be the end of that. Yeah, sadly, this entire ganking rotation they have tried over the past few minutes just hasn't worked out. They got one kill on the Legion Commander. And although one kill is nice, don't get me wrong, it's not enough. right? It doesn't shut down the Legion Commander enough to actually really push for an advantage. And that's what you gotta do. Got Raven farming up though, and the Slug, as I mentioned, you know, like, he's catching up. This is exactly what you would expect him to do. They sacrificed him early, but that's fine. That's fine. He's level 9 already. He's got his threats. He's working on the invisibility. Yes, it's going to take him a little while longer to get there, but he will get there. Like, given enough time in the game, he will get there. And that's really the only thing that matters, right? And that's just the power of his log. An item I actually would like to see from him maybe is the Aquila. You know, just a little bit more stats. Although he already has a lot of smaller items in his inventory, so that's going to make it a bit more difficult. But you know what? Never mind about that. We got a smoke attempt at the bottom lane. It's just a Tusk, but honestly the Tusk should die. Yeah, they see the smoke break. Sam H is just going to go for Puppy, and that's a dead Tusk. Maybe not. Snowball keeps him safe. Puppy now on the retreat. He dodges the stun nicely, and they are not able to secure that kill. That is a real shame. And honestly, I think that was one of those scenarios where I'll blame the Nyx for that one, right? I think the Nyx could have very easily secured that kill by simply going for the stun first. He wanted the Vendetta, which is understandable, right? I mean, who doesn't want the Vendetta first? But Vendetta at this point, it only deals 250 damage, which is nice, I guess, but you gotta keep in mind it's physical, so, you know, 4 armor reduces that by 20, like, it's not a crazy amount of damage, it's really not. And at this point, it's more important that you get the stun, because you have 3 more heroes there, you can't just burst them down that way, right? It took over 4 seconds for reinforcements to arrive, and, you know, in that time, you can't just burst them down. So, sometimes you just gotta make that judgment call and say, no, we're gonna go for the stun, right? Not gonna go for the Vendetta here. But alright. In the meantime, we've just got heroes farming up in the jungle. Raven is now up the top. He is gonna go ahead and just pick up the talent that gives some lifesteal, which I really like seeing here. Again, just more sustainability. It's also the talent that will really allow him to fight the lifestealer later on in the game. And that is what you want here, right? That is, I think, what they should be going for. They just gotta say, you know what? If we can make this game last long enough, then yes, the Slug will just destroy the lifestealer. Now, early on, this can happen. Blink in, duel, of course, MP jumps out, and they just get a quick kill. And that's a bit of a problem, right? That's gonna be the first duel victory for Keisu. I think that's the first time he revealed the Blink Dagger too. So, with Blink Dagger and Shadowblade, I always say you get a free kill. And that was the free kill, right? When you pick up the Blink Dagger or the Shadowblade, you get an opportunity for a kill. One, that is free, that is easy. And you gotta make use of that. And Secret did. And they picked off the Slug, which is honestly best case scenario, right? That's the guy you're looking for. Maybe him or the OD. OD actually going for a Hand of Midas. And we've got the Nyx Assassin going for a Hand of Midas too. Which is interesting. So it seems like TNC really wants to take this into the lane. Okay, lasers, mid one is just sitting in a perfect spot. He's going to be able to shoot missiles. There we go. 2 more missiles flying. That secures the kill on the Ogre Magi Cuckoo. Stuck in the middle, and he's gonna get marched down. Another missile would have secured that kill as well. And that's a 2 for 1. But by no means worth it, of course. Ogre Magi dying isn't that big of a deal, but you don't want to lose the OD. And yeah, that's a real setback for the Dire. And that's kind of the problem here, right? Holy hell, look at how many voids are down here. I mean, there's one here, there's one here, there's one here. there's one here. What is going on here? Alright, they just really want to make sure they know what's happening in this bottom lane. Oh, can I turn off this chat somehow? This is ridiculous. Alright, they get another kill up at the top. I mean, this is just as expected. I guess I can't. I guess I can. Well, that is incredibly irritating. But sorry, I really don't know how. Oh, there it is. Spectator chat. Haha, I think that turns it off. Learn something new. That's good. That's good. Raven now almost has a Shadow Blade, which is good news. All right, that's definitely a big item. He's also level 12. That's a nice mark to hit as well. Really makes a difference to have it Stark be at level 12, since the regeneration just becomes so much more powerful. You know, it's a big improvement. Helps a ton with farming. It's really something that I personally always look forward to when I'm playing Slark. Alright. March in the mid lane, we've got mid one. Just farming up. He's got his blink, not his blink dagger. He's got his TP boots, of course. He's got his soul ring. Blink dagger is gonna be ready soon. The question, of course, is what he goes for afterwards. I expect it to be Aghanim's Ethelons, honestly. I think that is probably the best option he can go for here. Although other options always exist, right? Like, that's always the thing. It's just Tinker has so many viable item builds, so many things this hero can do. It's kind of a hard call to like predict what exactly a player is gonna go for, because although one build may be optimal or one build may be better suited for the situation than another one, it's really not that simple, right? You cannot just say, well, this one is perfect here, and then expect everybody to go for it. Pilot Die gonna be going up here. You know, get the teleport in on Keisu. Looking for a little bit of something, won't be able to get it. Hand of Midas on the Lifestealer as well. This is Midas Gaming right here. Interesting. Haven't seen Midas Gaming in a little while, but yeah, Lifestealer picking up a Hand of Midas. I mean, we've got the Nyx, of course. We've got the OD. Interesting, interesting. Force Staff also ready on Cuckoo. Probably gonna build that into a Dragon Lance, like Hurricane Pike, of course, at some point, as you would expect. Wants to get a Blink Dagger, it seems. Honestly, I'm not sure how much I like that. I would actually like to just see the Hurricane Pike. It is so nice against a Lifestealer, you know. But I can see the reasons for the Blink Dagger. It's just, sometimes you gotta close in on people, right? Like, that's just how straightforward it is. Alright. Okay, we got just a little bit of a push away here. TNC forced to retreat. Yeah, they are a bit scared, you know. They don't wanna overextend. And again, it seems to me like they are confident in their late game. Right, that's why they have just given Raven so much time. They're just saying, it's okay. It's okay, we can win later. We can win later. March is coming out in the mid lane, pushing this away. This is, of course, another reason why they can't really do as much pushing. You know, it's just March is such a hassle. It really is. It is the worst. Sam H saving up for the Blink Dagger, I think. Probably. I mean, that's what you would expect, right? So Nyx. You buy Blink Dagger on Nyx, so you can eventually actually manage to hit an Impale. That, by the way, no disrespect to Sam H. Impale is a hard ability to hit. It really is. It doesn't seem that difficult, right? You don't think of Impale as like, oh my god, look at this crazy skill shot. But it really is. It is. It's actually incredibly difficult to connect with. Yeah. Absolutely no disrespect towards that. I find that ability tricky to connect with as well. And especially in a game like this, you gotta keep in mind that, yes, he is supposed to be one of the best in the world, but the players he's playing against are too. So they will know how to evade it, right? And holy hell, what is going on with this? I'm sorry, please excuse the lag. I of course have no control over this. My connection is fine. Oh well, Hand of Midas on the Legion Commander too. This is some serious Midas gaming. Wow. And it will be the Aghanims. Yeah, as expected. It just makes sense, you know, it's just good here. It's just good. I would like to see the Ethelans though. I always like the Ethelans in combination with the Aghanims, but seems he just wants to go for the stats first, you know, make sure he actually has the item. It does make a big impact. It does make a huge impact on the fights. The Ethelans is nice though, because actually Laser doesn't really have that much cast range. Right, as you can see, the range is fine. It's not great. So having a little bit more with the Ethelans does really help. It makes a significant difference. And we got the Shadow Blade, and now soon to be Echo Saber on Slog. Lots of invisibility on the Radiant side here, so I guess that would explain the paranoia that Secret is going through with their billion wards in the bottom lane. I'm gonna push at the bottom, I'm gonna push at the top. Just seems to be a trade back and forth. But no, TNC actually gonna go back. They teleport the Ogre Magi in. Nobody else so far. Ogre Magi alone won't be enough to defend us. They got the OD teleporting in as well. So that's, I guess, a bit of a start. But tower is still dying, man. You gotta do something about this. That's more than just a support. Vengeful Spirit is here. Alright. We got mid one just spamming in the jungle. As you would expect of a Tinker. Tower's dropping pretty low. Sadly, there are no creeps around for Secret to push with. So they'll just have to wait a little while. But that's fine. Just gives Tinker time to regenerate. He's actually gonna just go ahead and deny the push at the top. Come back into the bottom. And they got Tims! Ooh. Couldn't even get the duel on that one. Yeah. Ogre Magi dying too quick for Keisu to gain the bonus damage. But on the upside, he does have the duel ready. You know, like, at least he's still got that going for him. And they're gonna put the lifesteal on side of the Legion Commander. So the next bomb is ready. Keisu looking for something. Looking for some sort of jump. Uses the Hand of Mage just in a creep right there. Just casually. I find it a little bit odd that he wouldn't go for the bird. You know, just maximize the experience there. But I guess he doesn't care that much. Oh, actually, never mind. It's 20% experience gain, not just 15%. That's insane. 20% experience gain is actually insane. It is so much. Yeah, that's crazy. That is just crazy. Alright. Nyx Assassin just kind of roaming around a little bit. Roshan is going to be attempted. They smoked into it, though. But Tinker is kind of pinging it out. They kind of know something is up. And yeah, it's funny. They had the Nyx Assassin outside of the pit, just kind of as protection. But he's actually going to be the one that gives it away now. They jump him. Oh, Raven is going to start working on Keisu. Can they get him? Yes, the Legion Commander goes down before he gets to do anything. MP is now fighting against the Slough, but Raven retreats out. He doesn't want to go up against him. Tinker bursts down into nothingness. Sam H is still doing fine. Pylai dies now the next one in line. Triple kill for Raven here. And it's MP still sitting in the background. They also catch out Puppy. Puppy will die. Raven jumping on him, not wanting to go for the lifestealer. That seemed too risky for him. And that's 4 kills for TNC. That's a huge fight. That is a huge fight. That is going to give them a gigantic jump back into the game. Experience lead now. Yeah, experience lead now on the Dire. Wow, great fight, great fight. Absolutely fantastic. And that's Lark right there. And actually, oh no, they catch out MP. The lifestealer, he's gonna die. He's dead. He wants to activate the shrine he couldn't reach. And down goes MP. The Radiant's main carry just dies on his own in the jungle. That is one of the worst things that can happen here. Absolutely. And TNC, they're now looking to snowball this advantage. Mid tower goes down, but everybody's still around. You know, I guess except for the Ogre Magi, but yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. By the way, can I point out one thing really quick? So I talked about how... Oh. Ooh. That's rude. But I talked about how the Ogre Magi is gonna be, you know, like an enabler, because that's kind of his role here. Tims is actually going super hard on that. He's maxing out the Bloodlust and the Ignite. Not even going for the Fire Blast, you know, just getting one casual point into it, but skipping the rest. We've got an Aegis on the OD, who's level 19 already. Pretty deep into that experience pool here. Now, an important thing to keep in mind, by the way, since level 25 will always be something that is brought up, alright? The thing about level 25 is actually the experience gap between level 20 and level 25 is enormous. Right? It takes much longer to get from level 20 to level 25 than it takes to get from anywhere to anywhere in the game. Like, seriously, that's probably the experience needed for that is... probably as much as the experience needed for the previous 10, 15 levels combined. It's a little bit crazy like that. So, while OD is gonna be level 20 in a second, he will not be level 25 for quite a while, right? So Secret doesn't need to worry too much about that. But I actually kind of want to look around at the level 25 talents, you know, just always catching up, and not, you know, I don't know all of them, of course, but Lifestealer, he gets Rage, he gets 15 armor. It's actually kind of tricky to decide what to go for there, you know. Well, Rage is incredibly powerful, it's only 1 second that you gain, which isn't really that crazy, right? 15 armor is a lot of armor though. Also, I don't know why there's crepes with weird colors. Dude, I thought the bugs were gonna end when I stopped doing replays, but alright. I guess not, I guess not. Well, Legion Commander will clearly go for the 40 dual damage bonus, but she's actually only level 14. That's a little bit weird. Like, I'm surprised that Keisu isn't at least, you know, like level 16 or 17 yet. It's a bit crazy, but I suppose Secret overall, in terms of hero level, they're actually not doing that well, right? Net worth, we've got the OD far ahead of everybody else. You know, he's doing very, very well now. Like, definitely catching up back into this game. Has done well, so his Hand of Midas paying off at this point as well. I've got the Slug being ahead of the Lifestealer, and honestly, TNC is looking very good at this point. They're looking incredibly, incredibly powerful. We've got the Lincolns ready now. I know the Lincolns is going to look a little bit weird. Actually, it doesn't. Actually, wait, what am I talking about? It doesn't look weird at all. Like, there's so many good things to block here. So many good things. You've got the Legion Commander. You got Duo, blocked. You've got Laser, blocked. Right? You've got Mana Leak, blocked. You've got the Snowball, blocked. And one of the most important ones, actually, and this is kind of why I started off with that. It's gonna look a little bit weird. But Lincoln's is actually super good against Lifestealer. Right? So Open Wounds, blocked. All of these incredibly powerful abilities are just gonna be denied. And the thing is, none of these heroes actually have a way around that. Right? They don't have an option that isn't that valuable spell to break the Lincolns. And that's kind of a problem, right? So I actually really like seeing that item. Although, admittedly, a lot of these things could be blocked by just pushing Q as well, right? But honestly, it's likely mostly for the duel. Like, the duel is just the thing that Raven is really the most worried about. And this really makes it so that they cannot start a fight with a duel on the Slug. And if you cannot start a fight with a duel on the Slug, that just kind of gives him enough time to react, to push R. And if you push R, then the Slug is safe. That's kind of the big thing they're going for here. Paladai gonna die. Oh yeah, he's super dead. Picked off by Raven in the meantime. The Tusk is sitting in a snowball, but Puppy won't be able to do much here. No, not at all. Not at all. And that should be a bottom tower push. Actually, we got a TP into the shrine here. Sam H looking for something. He's just walking through the march. Gets a stun on the Tinker. Who is going to end up being fine, of course, because it's the goddamn Tinker. Sam H jumping in yet again. MP sitting in the middle here. He has Rage active, taking a lot of damage. And down he goes. Oh no. Lifestealer picked off. Oh, that is a disaster, man. Secret is actually just falling apart right now. No, this is not good. Like, the experience is just massively in favor of TNC at this stage. Gold not as much, but God, this is not good. I mean, again, look at the hero level here, right? Secret is just very far behind. Very far behind. Oh no, mid one is dead. Yeah, this is just a tilt, I think. Like, they are just tilted. Well, I got level 20 on the Slug, so 10% cooldown reduction or 25 attack speed. Gonna go with the cooldown reduction here. Seems reasonable enough. And level 25 with Slug is always funny. The 3 seconds pound leash. Oh, the Pounce Leash, not Pound Leash. Pounce Leash. Although it is interesting and funny, it's actually a little bit unnecessary. So, you know, there's always that. But yeah, Tinker's got his Aghanim's. He's not working on the Ethanons, but frankly, this just isn't working. Like, he doesn't even have the laser maxed yet. And that's actually something I find questionable. Going for the talent at level 10. You know, maxing that, like getting 8 intelligence or maxing out the laser. Especially if you're going Aghanims. I don't really see the point there. It's not like it's a big deal because he's actually gonna be level 15 in a second. Tinker's actually a hero that somewhat struggles with getting experience, funnily enough. Oh, Sam H gonna go down. They get that kill right away. Raven is working on the Tusk, gets that. Activates his ultimate, now just starts hitting the Lifestealer. Lifestealer is gonna drop. He didn't stand a chance. Nice laser. Connects on 4, so they won't be able to get any attacks out for a little while, but it doesn't matter. Cuckoo. Now the laser has worn off. He wants Keisu. He chops him out, but the invisibility is actually gonna keep the Legion Commander safe. She just sneaks out of there. Maybe looking for a little bit more. The Tinker is still shooting missiles into it. But Cuckoo misses the blink there. And they aren't able to get anything else. Nonetheless, TNC coming out ahead. You know, even though they didn't get everything they wanted, they still won the fight. That's just worrisome. That's just so worrisome. And the Slug is just getting more and more powerful by the minute. It actually finds Keisu. Invisibility doesn't matter. He's got a gem. Godlike on Raven. Tower goes down and... yeah, this is snowballing out of control. So, at this point I expect Raven to just go for the Basher. As much as I like Skadi, Basher is just more valuable here. Right, what was on the courier? Anything? No? Yeah, no, but I would really like to see the Basher. Skadi, of course, currently has that in his quick buy. That's just fine as well. Right, like, Skadi is fantastic, don't get me wrong. I think the Basher is probably a bit of a better option here. You want a reliable lockdown against the Tinker. You know, it helps a lot with the duel, you know, like if you get a Bash in the middle of that. And against the Lifestealer too. But nonetheless, it is definitely something that will be valuable, right? And yeah, it will be the Skadi for him instead. We'll see the Basher afterwards. It's really less of a, you know, change of what items he's buying. It's more of a change of order. Although, the order that I have imposed upon him. So it's not really like he planned on ever. I should just shut up. Shut up. We've got a smoke attempt from Secret here. Got a smoke attempt from Secret here. Invisibility from Raven. You know, he's kind of going in. He's got a Skadi. So, scary Slug is scary. Absolutely. Absolutely terrifying. Shiva's Guard ready on the OD. As well as the Lincolns on him. So yeah, they really value the Lincolns this game. And it's good. It's absolutely powerful. You know, there's no denying that. So yeah. Got a Eul's, a Blink Dagger on the Nyx Assassin here. Point Boosters or the Aghanims coming out next. Perfectly reasonable. Evelyn is now ready on the Tinker. Level 16 as well, so he can get his 225 health or laser amplification. Pilot I picked off though. Gem is on the ground actually. Really? Did the Kotler have a gem? Oh, that sucks. That's actually kind of a big deal. Aghanim's ready on the Keep of the Light, so I mean at least they've got something. Right, at least something. And we saw the Shadow Blade on Legion Commander. Going for a Sage now. I see no reason to keep the Quelling Blade over an Ogre Club ever. That is just bad. Keisu, please switch this. This is just them being super tilted. This is terrible. I know this doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is. You're missing out on 200 life. You're missing out against, like, I guess 10 damage. But 10 damage don't really... Like 10 damage is a little bit, I suppose. But really, like, the Quelling Blade gives you 14 more damage against creeps. It's not percentage based anymore. It's just the raw amount. Oh god, puppy. Gonna be caught out here. Slug will be able to get that kill. Actually, not quite yet. Tusk will very likely die. Yeah, there we go. Raven ends up getting the kill, but he's actually not in the greatest spot now, taking a little bit of damage. Still, it's a Slug. He's just gonna regen up. You know, he activates invisibility. Back to half, back to almost full here. Taking a bit of damage, just jumps out. And now Secret's actually looking for a little bit more. They get one. The Ventral goes down. Gem on the ground. The trap? They're just gonna sacrifice the gem. They don't really wanna... they don't really wanna die over a gem they don't need, because they got a different one, don't they? Who's got it? Ogre Magi? No. It's on a Nyx, actually. Funnily enough, even though he's dead. Probably wasn't a stash then. Alright, but that's a good fight for Secret, actually, you know? They got a little bit of something. And that's what they need here, right? To come back into this, they need a little bit of that. Look at that experience difference. That's just massive. Wow, that's crazy. That is really just insane. I mean, how does that even happen? Especially if you gotta keep, like, you gotta keep in mind, Legion Commander actually gains 20% more experience just for free. Like, that should have a noticeable impact, but it's not. It's not having any impact, because she's just not at that stage. Level 18 now, so that's good. Level 3 ultimate ready here. Tinker electing to level up his rearm as well. It's always a bit of a question if you should do that, you know. Tinker, of course, he ends up using a lot more mana, which can be a bit of an issue. Looking for a kill. They got the Shadow Blade ready, they got the Blink Dagger. And one thing I really don't like from Keisu is the lack of a Blade Mail. I think Blade Mail is the single most essential item on a Legion Commander. Like, honestly, Blink Dagger is debatable because you can go Shadow Blade instead, right? Well, you need some sort of mobility. You can even go Force Staff. Like, all of that is debatable. A Blade Mail, I don't think, is a question. You need to have a Blade Mail on a Legion Commander. If you don't have Blade Mail, then you're just lacking damage, you know? Like, you just aren't scary. And I think you can see this here. Like, Keisu duels people, and then what? Right? It's just essentially a stun for a little while. And while that is valuable, it is not as valuable as just that casual Blade Mail would make it. At least he decided to put the Sage into his inventory. I'm happy about that. Thank God. Yeah, Blade Mail... Like, okay, look. Quelling Blade is an item that there used to be an argument for, that you know, just kind of like carry it around and yeah, it gives you bonus damage and such, and it's nice. You could make that argument because it was percentage based, but now that it's just a flat amount. No, absolutely not. It's just 24 damage. It's not more valuable than having plus 10 strength. It's just not. It's not that powerful of an item anymore. Oh well. Oh well. Slark running around here. Setting on our 4.5 grand. Still has the Aegis. It should run out soon though, so yeah. That's gonna solve that slight issue he has with his inventory management. And yeah, it's gonna be the Basher next. Like, it's a Slark. Either that or Silence, which I suppose would work too. He's level 25 now. He's actually gonna get the 3 seconds pounce. Kind of funny. Laser bounces a little bit, but Lifestealer is dead. He needs to buy back right away. Right away. No time to wait. Puppy's gonna die. He waited too long and... Oh no, Tinker! He just blinks into it! Oh no! You can't do that! What was that? Oh, they are so tilted. Oh, they are so tilted. Yeah, he just blinked into it. He just blinked straight into the OD and died. That ultimate wasn't even meant for him. Oh, that is so bad. Well, BKB ready on Cuckoo. BKB ready on Cuckoo. Yeah, we got a Heaven's Halberd here, which I suppose is useful, right? Sam H looking for something, won't be able to get it. He's still just kind of working on the Sagonims. And yeah, that's the strength of the Tinker here, you know, he can just kind of like try to zone out TNC, but it's actually a bit of a problem since Nyx Assassin is a hero that does really well against Tinker. You simply activate the E, and now the missile hit you, and you're stunned, and now we jump you, and you're dead. Because you don't deal well with being hit. You're a Tinker. If you get hit, you die. Every single time. That's just kind of the life you have chosen, my friend. That's how it goes. Lifestealer. He's got a Desolator, he's got a Basher, but this is, again, the stage I talked about. At 40 minutes, a Slark just destroys. Just absolutely destroys a Lifestealer. It's not even funny. Right, and he's actually going to go for Butterfly. An item, honestly, I think he's going for the Butterfly here just because it is very easily accessible. Right, they would have to wait at least another minute or two for the Basher, and they don't want to wait right now. They just want to go. Right, they're just looking to go. They get Puppy, and Butterfly is the most easily accessible. It is just right then and there. You know, you can't just get it. So yeah. Raven has the evasion now. And don't get me wrong, Butterfly is very powerful. Like, absolutely. At this stage, it almost doesn't matter what they have, because they're just so far ahead. Look at that. Look at the lead here. Yeah, almost 10,000. I mean, it just doesn't matter if you're that far ahead, what items you buy. It's not relevant. This is a point that I like to call throwing money at your opponent. Where you're so far ahead, it literally doesn't matter what you spend your money on. You can buy anything you want. Because you're just using your money to throw it at them. Right? And yeah, some form of money that you could throw at them, which is like the optimal item build, would deal a little bit more damage. But in the end, it's overkill either way. Right? So it just doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you actually spend your money. Missiles are still going on. Yeah, the Tinker is kind of keeping a secret in the game a little bit. You know, buying them time. He's going for the sheep stick. I mean, he doesn't have buyback available anyway. That's another thing to kind of keep in mind here. There's no buybacks on secret. This is absolutely the last fight. Which is why TNC is being so careful about it. You know, TNC is just like, okay, there's no need to rush anything. We'll wait for our opportunity. And once we get it, we'll just end it. Because that's all we need now. There's no buybacks. There's nothing. And there we go. That's the opportunity. They swap in. Pile die. Duel coming out. But, oh, nice. They killed the Nyx, actually. Secret. Getting a little bit of an advantage there. The Snowball going in on the OD. Cuckoo up in the air. Puppy is going to be turned around on. He goes down. Beyond godlike on Raven. Tinker, in the meantime, he's trying to get some damage in, but he's out of mana. He needs to retreat. And it's a 1-for-1. Definitely in favor of Secret, though. Oh no, they're diving in deep. They're diving in so deep. Raven is gonna come in from behind. Oh, nice push away. He isn't able to actually connect with any attacks. He activates a Shadow Dance. He's now working on Keisu. But he isn't actually able to secure that kill. He's now forced to retreat out a little bit. Uses his Q to jump out, but Cuckoo dealing so much damage. And now Raven, he's gonna start working on MP. Retreated out, but at this point, it's Lifestealer cornered. Lifestealer's cornered, Lifestealer goes down. Tinker comes in, he's cornered, he goes down. Mid one doesn't stand a chance. Oh, actually, nice. The laser buys him enough time. He tries to teleport out, but doesn't matter. He falls, and that's game. I mean, the only one that has buyback is the Legion Commander. Kotl can maybe defend a little bit. It's a very messy fight. That's actually the thing, right? Like, that fight, I think, was terrible from TNC. That was garbage. Raven was just running around doing nothing for most of it, right? Cuckoo really carried the majority of the load there. And even though TNC had a terrible fight, terrible, they destroyed Secret. That's how far ahead they are. It doesn't matter what they do, they just have so much more money. The economy is too strong. At this stage, I don't expect Secret to call GG soon, though. Like, they'll probably just wait until the Ancient dies. One barracks goes down, the second one is gonna fall. Are they gonna just go for the Megas? Yeah, Cuckoo's already up at the top. Thing is, this third game of a best of 3. I mean, you're not gonna call that one. Right, you don't want to call it the third game of a best of 3. Pretty sure Secret is eliminated after this. So, Keisu blinks in. As you can see, he deals no damage. He doesn't have a Blade Mail. He doesn't have any impact. And now he's gonna die. Just burned down. Raven manages to secure another kill. Beyond godlike on both of the cores from TNC. Pile dies, picked off. MP is kind of being yeah. The Raven is just diving him in the fountain. We've got mid one trying to do a little bit of damage. He actually is doing alright to some extent. Out of mana now though. And he gets one, funnily enough. And he's dead. Yeah, it doesn't matter what he does here. Yep, just dies. And they call the GG. Alright. It was a fun game. I think I did alright. Wasn't like amazing. But it's really early on in the morning. I think that kind of excuses me a little bit. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a rating on the video. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.